A big weekend here in Birmingham. The O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels is back in town, featuring all the hot rods, race cars, antique cars, classic cars, custom imports, motorcycles, and a whole lot more. And that starts on Friday, 3 to 9 Central Time, Saturday 10 to 9, Sunday 10 to 6 down at the BJCC. And Erik Estrada will be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, 5 to 9, Brownie. Saturday, 12 to 4 and 6 to 9. And then back on Sunday, 11 to 3.
We're working him hard. We're working Erik hard while he's here.
51 years, 51st annual Birmingham show for the O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels.
And we're working him hard because he's with us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Welcome in, Erik. Hope you're doing well today.
I'm doing well, and I know, you're working me like a stepchild.
How much time have you spent in our fair state of Alabama?
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
How much time have you spent in our state of Alabama? Will this be your first visit?
I believe that it is, as a matter of fact. And then I'm going to come back in April, I believe, to Huntsville, Alabama.
Wow! So I mean, you've never been. We're going to get you twice in a few months. That's a win for us.
You are. Yeah, I think this is the year.
Hey,
this is the year.
So can we go way back? So Chip's had an incredible run from 77 to 83, 139 episodes. When you went in to originally meet with the producers, the creator Rick Rossner, was your original read for Poncherello, or was there possibly another character you read for?
I had done a movie with George C. Scott after he did Patton. He did a movie called The New Centurion. And I was in that as a Chicano rookie cop. And Rick Rossner brought me in from seeing me in that. And I came in and I read, and he liked my personality, and it was great. But I had a big problem because up till then I always played on episodic television the Latino with the gun, the knife, the brick, the pimp, the bad boy, so NBC said, no, we see this kid every day. He just shot a priest in Hawaii 5-0 last week, and that episode, and then he burned a building in Kojak, and he was up for battery on Owen Marshall. And no, and he said, well, let's screen test him. So he put me in the uniform, and I screen test. And once I was in the uniform, it made me neutral. It made me a good guy, looking like a good guy, and I got the part.
I'm always interested. How did the real California Highway Patrol react to you guys back then? Because it sort of made them stars. It made little kids everywhere want to grow up to be one of them.
A lot did become officers around the country, and if they didn't make it as motor cops or get on the force, they still wanted to be first responders, so they became paramedics or EMTs and firefighters. It just led to a lot of great things, positive things for the young people back in the day. They looked at us and said, I would get stopped by cops on the street, or if they saw me in my car and I had the top down, they would say, hey, we don't get jet skis and we don't get to hand glide on weekends with all these. What kind of force are you on? It used to, and then they used to tell me, why is your uniform so tight like that? We don't. Look at our uniforms. Look how baggy our clothes are.
Erik Estrada is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He will be at World of Wheels, the O'Reilly World of Wheels, down at the BJCC this week. WorldOfWheels.net for all that information. WorldOfWheels.net. How much motorcycle time had you had before this? Because I know you missed some episodes, I believe, because of a bad wreck. Were you pretty good on the cycle before you even took this role?
No, I didn't even. I rode a truck bike. I grew up in New York City. Either the subway, the bus, or I had a delivery bike. No, I didn't. I didn't know about motors until I got the job. They had Scott Wilson from the academy come down, motorcycle instructor come down, and while we were filming, they would he'd teach us. He'd teach us to do the figure eights and such, and then that's how I learned. And when I learned to ride, that's when I started crashing a lot.
So what was?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to ask you the most ridiculous storyline you ever saw when you went to read a script for Chips.
Oh, there was one. Wow, there weren't. I think a lot. Some of the stuff was really crazy because the creator of the show was really. He was a really nice man, but he was more of a child inside because he would have a lot of adventurous episodes like I got stuck in glue on the freeway. My motor got stuck in glue. One episode, the other episode, there was one with chicken, a truck full of chicken, all over the freeway and climbing and crapping all over me because I had to handle the we were traffic officers and I had to handle it. And I remember one with onions, a lot of onions. And then there was one episode which but it worked. It worked. I mean, it really worked. This one episode where somebody flips the cigarette out of the window of their car, and it blows right on my lap and burns a hole in my pants, in the front. And so I dealt with that. And then he had me eating a lot of ding dongs in the first season.
Context?
It was crazy, man. And then of course when they changed producers, that stuff changed. But it was, the show was wonderful. Larry was great. Larry, my character shined because Larry was always there correcting me.
Now, Larry Wilcox is who you're talking about. This is Erik Estrada with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Yeah.
Larry Wilcox, who played John to your Punch. And I was going to ask you, do you still stay in touch? Are you guys still tight?
Oh yeah. We have a bunch of appearances together this year. For Fanboy, we're going to be all over, Tennessee, Columbus, Ohio. We're going to be all over the place. We have some Comic-Cons to do.
How do you prepare for roles like in My Name is Earl and Scrubs and King of Queens, where you played the character Erik Estrada? How did you prepare for that?
That's a tough role.
Well, that's a stretch. I had to go into the archives of my mind to bring that guy up, to bring up Estrada. No, you know what? It's very funny. I play Ponch as me because I always wanted to be a police officer, and I am today a deputy sheriff in Fairview County, Virginia. I do internet crimes against children. That's what I've been doing for the last 11 years, and popping those guys off the internet, and so I just always wanted to be, since I was 4, I wanted to be a police officer, New York City police officer, but I got sidetracked chasing a beautiful blonde girl named Christine Laporte back in the day in high school who was in drama club. So I figured, I grew up in the streets of Harlem. I can act. I'd just go in there and audition and get the girl. Well, I went in there and I got bit by the acting bug. And at 17, and I gave myself till I was 30 to give it a shot. If it didn't work out, I go back to New York and get go to academy because 32 years is the cutoff date to go to police academy in New York to be a NYPD, and I'd get my mother as my roommate out of the project to live with me. But then I got Chips at 27, and so I had the attitude and the want and the desire. So I just played the way I would react to things with somebody's words and then all the technical jargon as a police officer. So that was pretty cool. I loved it. And then when I get asked to do parts like My Name is Earl and stuff like that, I love that part because I played me again.
Well, everybody that watched Chips, I mean, they know Ponch and they know John, but I don't think a lot of people remember Bruce Jenner was part of this cast. How did that come about?
Hey, that happened because I had acquired 50% ownership of the show, of net profits participation. And when they sold Chips to Golden West Broadcasters for a 10-year syndication run, I had ownership, so I took my lawyers at the start of the fifth season, went in to the David Beagleman's office. You know, he was the one that used to forge Cliff Robertson's residuals. All right, the guy that's running the studio because he had a Jones with gambling. And anyway, I went in there and I said, Mr. Beagleman, we got here my two attorneys. I own 50% of net profit participation for syndication, and I understand you just sold to Golden West Broadcasters. I would like very much to draw up a quarterly payment installment contract now, because when these shows, you know, I was at the gym. I used to work out at Vince's gym every morning, 5:30, then go off, and all the Clint Eastwood stunt guys, movie cowboy guys were there, and Carl Weathers and Ned Beatty. All these actors would work out there too. It was like a sweatbox. It wasn't a spa. It was a sweatbox. It was a giant room with weights, and that's it. Not even a sauna or a steam or any of that. And Robert Blake was working out, and I go, "Hey, Robert, I just acquired another 25.5% of net profit participation from Chips. Yay!" And it's during the, I think that was the third season. And he says, "You know, you're an AH," he says to me. I said, "Why do you say that?" He says, "Because I own 33 1/3 of Beretta. I sell it to you for 10 cents. You'll never see it. Because the studios have part of their formula was creative bookkeeping, where they have one set of books that show profit, another set of books that don't. All right? And I just finished seeing James Gardner on 60 Minutes, who took him in 11 years to fight at Universal Studios for the net profits of Rockford Files. And he produced it and started it. So, go figure. I said, well, that's not going to happen to me. So I took it. I had my attorneys find out the exact deal, and their exact deal was to deliver. MGM had to deliver to Golden West Broadcasters, which turned into Turner, and now it's Columbia Warner, you know, ownership of the show. 6 years of print, but with Erik Estrada as Ponch.
Wow.
So that was my smoking gun. That was
a good win for you, yeah.
That was my power. So I figured, you know what? I'm going in there. You know, and I already had my mother. I pulled her out of the Harlem and put her in a beautiful park, a beautiful apartment on 57th Street and 8th Avenue overlooking Central Park. And I took care of everything. And I wasn't about to, you know, lose it all and have to put my mother back in the ghetto. I wasn't going to do that. She was my whole motivation for being, you know, to have a success, and because I want to get her out of the project and have her living well, because she was my queen. Anyway, so I took the fight to them. It wasn't a fight. It was, hey, I got attorneys. I got a contract. Let's do this. Well, they said no. They said, no, you got to wait for the show to be in syndication. And I said, no, you guys are selling MGM off by building, and you just sold the back lot, which is all now condos and everything. And you're selling the library. You guys are not going to be here to get my call when I call you and ask for a check. So we're going to do this now. And they said, no, you can't. And he called me a couple of nasty things, and I got up and looked him in the face. And I said, you know what? When I was 5 years old, my first job was selling snow cones in Harlem. And my second job was shining shoes at Columbus Circle. And then I worked at a laundromat after school, and then I worked as a waiter to pay for my academy training as an actor. I always had a job, but I never, because he called me a bad word, I don't want to say it.
Okay, you don't have to say it.
Box boy. He called me I don't know if you can say it and get away with it. No, I guess not. I better not. They call me it's a Spanish term. It's box boy. And I looked at him, I said, but I never, ever box groceries. So, and then I threw the bomb at him, that F-bomb.
Uh-huh.
And I walked out. I walked off, and they proceeded to say, you don't go back to work, we're going to sue you. And they sued me for $40 million. And then I laughed. And then they brought in Bruce Jenner to replace me.
There he is.
and for 7 episodes, Bruce Jenner did 7 episodes of the show.
Yeah.
And I just waited it out as long as I could, and they came back because they weren't about to give any of that $75 million deal back to Golden West Broadcasters. So they came back, settled with me, bought me out, and I went back to work. And I also made them pay me for the 7 episodes that I wasn't in.
Eric,
and so that's how Bruce got in it.
there you go. That's it. Bruce made it. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, Bruce.
Ironically, no more kickstand for Bruce.
Yes, interesting. Yes. All righty. Eric, thank you for the time. We look forward to seeing you in Birmingham. Take care of yourself.
I hope I didn't chew up your show up too much.
No, gosh, this show. You kidding me?
No.
You're all good. Thank you, Eric. Take care.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you this weekend.
All right. Yeah, look forward to it. Take care. Bye-bye. That is Erik Estrada with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com.
That was all me. I just asked the Bruce Jenner question.
There he is.
Yeah.